everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm excited to share with you some fantastic fall craft ideas that will bring the warmth of the season into your home. We'll be creating a variety of fun and easy pumpkin DIY projects. Hi, my name is Katie from Lady Red Crafting. Let's get started on these beautiful autumn creations. These little baskets have become a staple item at the Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to do is turn these into beautiful little pumpkins. Before I even bring these baskets home with me from the Dollar Tree, I check them out at the store to match up a few of the baskets to make sure that they fit well together. Because depending on where they're at in the stack of the baskets, some are a tiny bit wider and a tiny bit more narrow. You just don't know. So while you're there, just try to find two that match up. Now, once you find that perfect pair of baskets and you bring them home, we're going to go ahead and just grab our hot glue gun. And all we're going to do is just add a bead of hot glue around the edge of one of the baskets. All you have to do is sandwich these two together and let them dry for a few minutes. Now, once that has completely dried, what I'm going to do here is I don't want to see that seam between the two baskets. So I'm adding a little bit of hot glue, about 3 or 4 inches at a time. I'm just going to place a piece of ribbon over the top of that hot glue, and we'll continue doing that until we've done the whole perimeter of our pumpkin. Now all you need to do is trim the excess ribbon off and glue that little piece down, and you have the base of your pumpkin. Now for our stem on our pumpkin, I'm using these little birch pieces that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to attach it with Fix All from Super Glue and a little bit of hot glue. And now once our stem is attached, we can add our embellishment. For this one, I'm just going to add a simple little bow with some hot glue to the top. And if you're not into bows, you could add some leaves, you could add some Spanish moss, maybe just tie a little piece of fabric on there. You could do whatever you'd like to embellish these. Now here is what our first pumpkin looks like. And with such a cute, fun, simple project, I couldn't just make one, so I did make 2 additional ones to have a fun set of 3. For the second pumpkin here, I used the darker baskets for this and a little bit different ribbons. And for the third pumpkin, I went more with a black and white themed, and I'm using some black and white ribbon around the border of this pumpkin. And then for the top, we're going to do a little raffia bow and a sheer black ribbon just to give it a different look. So I would love to hear from you guys. Let's vote. Which one do we like better? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? Which pumpkin? Please leave a comment below on what your favorite pumpkin is. Let's make a cute little decor piece. This little piece I found at the Dollar Tree, and I'm using this fun stencil that I found on Amazon. And I'll leave a link in my description box below for this stencil. And what we're going to do here is we take this stencil and we're just going to put that onto our little black canvas here. If you haven't used these self-adhesive stencils before, they are reusable, so all you need to do is wash them in some hot soapy water, place them back on the piece of paper they came with, and then you can use them again. So the chalk paste I'm using today is by Redesign, and we're going to use 3 colors: Vintage Lace, Cranberry, and Desert Rose. And I'll link them in my description box below if you're interested in these paints. And to apply these paints, I'm just using a small squeegee and just putting a little bit of paint down and scraping off any excess. Everybody has different techniques on how they like to do these stencils. But what I like to do is, since this is such a small stencil, I'm going to do all 3 colors at once. I'm doing the white for the wheels, red for the truck, and the pink for the pumpkins. So while we're painting this adorable truck, I want to tell you all about this fun playlist I'm a part of. Hello Fall, hosted by The Rusted Willow and DIY from House to Home, and I'm honored to be the guest host this month with these wonderful ladies. This playlist is amazing. There is a link in my description box below. I invite you to please check out these wonderful creators and give them some love. Thank you. So now that we've got our paint all over our stencil here, we're going to go ahead and just remove that stencil in one big swoop. Now let's set that aside for a moment to dry, and while that's drying, let's make a beautiful bow to do for an embellishment. I'm starting out with some wired ribbon, and I'm just going to make the shape of a bow. Now that we have our shape, I'm going to grab my piece of pipe cleaner there, and I'm just going to wrap that around the center to tighten the bow up. I made these tails really long on this bow, so I'm going to trim these up by just dovetailing them down about 2 inches from the bottom of the bow. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bit of that excess ribbon, and I'll make that into the shape of a rectangle and fold it into thirds. And I did have a little bit too long of a piece, so we just had to make that a little bit shorter. And we're just going to hot glue that around the center of our bow to give it a nice finished, polished look. And now that our bow is finished, we can go ahead and put together our little sign. This is super simple. All we're going to do is hot glue that bow to the very top of our painting, and next we'll add that back to the little stand that it came with, and this adorable shelf sitter is ready to display on your tiered tray, on a shelf, on the counter, anywhere you have fun fall decor. And if you're enjoying this content, please consider hitting that subscribe button below. It really helps my channel grow. Thank you. Let's make some mini pumpkins. I recently discovered Woodpecker Crafts, and I am in love with these little spindles that they have. And they come in a 10-pack, and I'll leave a link in my description box below. These things are amazing. And I'm going to take one of these spindles and I'm going to use these cutters. And these cutters are from the garden center at the Dollar Tree, and they work really well to cut different things. So we're going to make 2 cute little stems that look a little bit different because of the way that the knob is in the middle of that spindle. Now I grabbed my zip sander just to sand off any little rough edges that there might be from my cut. Next, I'm going to grab these wood cubes that I found at the Dollar Tree, and these are adorable. So if you see them at the Dollar Tree, grab them. You can do so many fun things with them. But for this project, we're going to make pumpkins. So I'm taking a drill and a 1/4-inch drill bit, and I'm just going to drill a little hole in the center of our cube. And these cubes are hollow, so they're very easy to drill. But if you're nervous about drilling these, I do have a second way of making these later on in the video to show you. Now with that hole drilled, I want to do a fit check just to make sure that that spindle fits nicely into that hole, and it does fit perfectly. So we are all ready to start doing our decorating for these pumpkins. So one of the cubes, I'm going to go ahead and stain with my Waverly Antique Wax. And for my second cube, I'm going to take my Delta White metallic paint, and I'm going to paint that white. Now for that third cube, this is the cube that I didn't put a hole in. We're going to just stain that with the Waverly Antique Wax. Once that's completely stained, I'm going to whitewash it a little bit with the Waverly Plaster Paint. Now that we have our 3 blocks or pumpkins ready to go, let's go ahead and work on our stems. We have the spindle that we cut in half earlier, And this little peg here, I got from the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section. These are so fun. So I'm going to go ahead and stain a few of these pegs using my antique wax. And then for the last little peg, I am going to use my satin finish black multi-surface paint. And I changed my mind with the peg from the Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and I covered up that antique wax with my Waverly Truffle paint. No, I couldn't just leave the last one alone, so I took my Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster and I whitewashed the spindle that was done with the antique wax. And now here is all 3 of our stems ready to go. Let's put these little pumpkins together. For our first pumpkin here, we're going to take some wood glue and a little bit of hot glue, and this is how we're going to attach the stem since we did not drill a hole for this one. And now once our stem is attached, all I'm going to do is take a little bit of hot glue and I'm adding a little raffia bow to accessorize. Now for our next little pumpkin, I'm using the white metallic pumpkin and I'm taking a little bit of hot glue and just adding that to the top of the hole. And then we're just going to insert that spindle in, and it fits really tight in there. You might not even need to use the hot glue, but I just wanted to be sure. After that, I do a little bit more hot glue and add a small black bow, and this pumpkin is complete. It's very chic and fun. And for our farmhouse pumpkin here, we're just going to add a little bit of hot glue, add that spindle, and then there is a cute little bow that we put on the top there that's white and black, and a little twine bow as well, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And now our third little pumpkin is complete. And here is all of our pumpkins all done up. I think these turned out fabulous. These would be a wonderful addition to your tiered tray, a shelf sitter, placed around the kitchen, around other pumpkins. These are just so much fun and elegant. And there you have it, 3 fun pumpkin craft projects. I hope you enjoyed these crafts as much as I did, and if you're looking for more fun and creative ideas, be sure to check out our next video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, craft more, stress less.